think this may work out for the best because we will be able to record some content for y'all and have you go over it until it gets right. And then if you do have any questions over the course of the week, feel free to please email me. I have access to my computer. I have access to ZBrush, obviously, and I can open up your files and give you a little bit of critique and point you in the right direction. But let's just kind of jump right into it with all that being said. Here is the sword as I have set it up over the past few weeks. This is as far as I've gotten. I would love to go in here and sculpt up these leather pieces, and maybe I'll do that at some point off camera, but I want to go in and show you quickly how to decimate a model so we can get this into a position where we can bring it into Substance Painter and actually start practicing. And that process begins with dividing up our model into more manageable subtools. So we have right here, I have all my leather straps, I have my blade, I have my pommel, I have all these things. So I have a total of 23 subtools within this Z tool. So my plan is I'm going to bring that down to a much more manageable number that makes sense. Now, when I think about managing, my main thing is I do not want to have objects that are touching. Like, for example, if I zoom in here, I don't want to have this leather strap and this leather strap on the same subtool. That's because they're touching, and you're going to create a big issue with assets like that or meshes like that that are kind of touching and intersecting. They're not going to be able to bake quite right. So my initial plan is to go in and I'm going to create one subtool rather than 8 or however many straps there are. I'm going to create one subtool that is 1, 3, 5, 7, and then I'll create another one that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then we'll have a couple left over that are not touching, but it's still compacted into a single group. So let's walk through how to do that. First step is going to be looking right here at our subtool stack. And I'm just going to, I think my plan of attack is I'll group them all into a single subtool group, and then I'll separate them from that. And you'll see how that would work. So with my number 1 pommel, I'm just going to go ahead and press merge down. I'm going to go merge down. It's not an undoable operation. Yep, that's okay. Merge down. Maybe you don't ask me again. So always okay. Merge down, and you'll see as I merge down through this leather straps group right here in my subtool, I'm adding more and more straps to my active subtool. Merge down, and then the final strap is that at the bottom, right there, merge down. Beautiful. Now, an important part of this working out is that they are all still on dynamic subdivision. I haven't applied in my dynamic subdivision and given them sculpted detail quite yet, and that is making my life a lot easier. But for now, we're going to press Control and W. That is Control and W to group all visible. And then I'm going to press Tab. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go to polygroups and I'm going to say auto groups. This is auto groups by topological continuity, and it will separate each of the straps into their own group. So I'm going to auto group, and you'll see that. And now my plan is I'm going to press Control Shift, left click, Control Shift, left click and drag off of the model, Control Shift, left click to add to the hidden meshes, Control Shift, left click and drag, or left click, and then Control Shift, left click right there. So I have this object, and now with these being my visible straps, I'm going to press Control and W. That groups them all together in the same poly group. And now I will press Control and Shift and drag to view my other ones. So from here, I'm going to press Control Shift to hide that. I'm going to press Control Shift to hide that. And I'm going to go ahead and hide that as well. So now I have these three visible. I'm going to press Control and W to group visible. And now what I want to see here is these are their own groups. These blue ones are their own groups. So if I were to hide both of these, I probably need to separate each of these three straps maybe into their own group. Maybe I can combine. Let's check. If I click here and I click here, are these touching? They are not touching, so I can press Control and W and add them into their own group. So now we've gone from having, 8 or 12, how many straps there was groups, to 4. We have our blues, our yellows, our oranges, and then this one right here that's kind of going across the middle. So now from that, I'm going to show all visible, and I'm going to move this out of my subtool stack. And we will do that same here. I'm going to call these leather straps. And the next step of this is to go in and say, scroll down to our subtool management menu here after pressing tab. And we're going to find this option next to duplicate and merge down that says groups split. It's going to separate this subtool into multiple subtools based on polygroups. If I press that, it's going to give me a notice that this is not undoable. That's fine. I'm going to press OK. And then now I have all of these in neatly separated subtools. Now this one, the creasing is looking a little messed up, so I'm just going to fix that real fast. Changing my crease level from I believe when I separated them, it might have gotten rid of the crease level, which is undesirable. So when you separate them into their own polygroups, you may have to go back and change your crease level. I'm just setting my crease level to 2 and my smooth subdivision level to 4 to kind of give it a softer, leathery look rather than a polygonal, sharp appearance. So that is going to be our step 1. Next, we're going to need to name our models here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my construction folder here and I'm going to press delete all. I don't want these meshes anymore. They're not visible. That's fine. I'm going to call my blade here. We're going to call this blade. We're going to call this pommel. This is the little piece that is at the very top of the blade right here. Call that pommel 2. Or, sorry, that would be handle 2. We got handle 1. And now I'm going to name this guy right here, this little rounded piece with the spikes jutting out of it. We're going to call this handle 3. We'll call our spikes here handle 4. And I can't group these together because why? They are touching each other. I do not want to have subtools that are touching each other on the same subtool, but I want to have as few of them as possible. We have our little pommel here. That's fine. We have our handle sitting back there. You have these spikes. We could probably look at merging the spikes together. Let me see. Yep, they're not touching. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to handle 4 and find this spike subtool. And I'm going to scroll down here and merge down. Boom. Now they are verified. Same subtool. Looks good. And then we're going to press Shift to expose all on the eyeball. All right, now we're here. We have our blade, our handles, our leather straps, but then we have these teeth. So let's take a look at the teeth. I already kind of did it on the Curious. Oh, this is the back model. Okay, good. Okay, so we have our teeth here, guys. And you might need to do this because the teeth are on both sides. You might need to do it a couple times. So, with our teeth selected, we're going to do that same process. I'm just going to start over. Control W, polygroup, auto group, and then every other tooth. Control, Shift, left click like that. So now we can Control W for visible. And then we will split hidden, and that's in subtool management. And these ones, because they do have subdivision levels already applied, I need to make sure to drop my subdivision slider all the way down to number 1. And then now I can go to subtool management, split hidden, and I have my 2 teeth separate like so. Same for the top. I need to Control W so they're all the same. Control W, auto groups, Control Shift left click, Control Shift left click and drag to hide, Control Shift, and then we can go to group split after making sure that we've dropped our subdivision level all the way down, and split hidden or group split, whichever way you like. They both work. Okay, now that I'm just seeing that these back teeth are also being affected here. I just went ahead and isolated this group so I can see what I'm doing. And I just split hidden like so. I think I have a little bit more cleaning up to do. So what I'm doing right now is I'm scanning for my teeth that are on the opposite side. It looks like this one and this one are the same, so they're symmetrical. So I'm going to group them by merging down. And I just made a critical error by accidentally merging them without dropping them subdivision level all the way down. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to duplicate these, go to my subtool management, delete higher because you cannot mirror something if it has subdivision levels without a little bit of trickery. We won't get into that, but we will go ahead and just press the mirror and we will mirror and weld across the Z-axis. Boom. Now if I press dynamic subdivision level, I can go ahead and apply that again, and we are back to where we need to be. Go ahead and delete that. So now I have our front and back teeth looking great. Now I need to do, I have my front and back teeth on the bottom as well, looking great. So we're going to call these bottom teeth 2, and ones on top will be bottom teeth 1. We'll do the same sort of process here to find our matches. These ones are already good to go, so we just need to merge these ones. We'll make sure that they're both at their highest subdivision level before we merge them. That's how we can avoid the issue that we just had. So I'm going to merge down, merge down. Subdivision levels intact. Subdivision levels intact. Great. We're going to rename these. We're going to do top teeth 1. Right. Good. So I just typed a 1. Top teeth 2. Now let's go ahead and look at our layer stack here. We have our leather straps. We'll rename these ones leather straps 4. Sorry, not used to working on this laptop. Can't see as well as I. And the big monitor, leather straps 4. Pommel, handle 1, 2, 3. Blade. Okay. And we will show all. We'll set all to high. And now we are in a place to start converting these to high poly. So first things first, let's get our subtools under control. Let's make them all nice and easy to see what we're looking at here. And then we will commit to our high polys and set up a decimation pass. See you in the next video.